You walk in the front door, right? And the house is just suspiciously quiet.
Which is, never a good sign.
Never. You turn the corner into the living room, and there, sitting right in the center of the rug, is your absolute favorite pair of leather shoes.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Or, well, what used to be your favorite shoes, now just reduced to like shredded, slobbery confetti.
A total disaster zone.
Exactly. And sitting right next to the debris is your dog. Their head is lowered, their tail is tucked tightly between their legs. They are refusing to make eye contact with you.
Right, they're doing that sideways glance thing.
Yeah, you can just see the whites of their eyes peeking up. And in that moment, the cause and effect just seems so obvious. I mean, they destroyed the shoe, they know they did something bad, and now they are visibly, undeniably apologizing to you.
It really does look like the absolute definition of a guilty conscience. To a human brain, it's just, well, it's an open and shut case.
But today in the deep dive, we are looking at canine behavioral science to prove why your dog actually has absolutely no concept of guilt.
None at all.
Right. And more importantly, why your very natural, very human reaction to that cowering face might quietly be destroying their trust. We're unpacking insights today from a channel called Canine Code, which uses biological science to decode the invisible language of dogs.
Because to truly understand what is happening in that specific moment, we have to completely strip away our human perspective. We have to, look at the world through an entirely different sensory lens.
And if you have a dog at home, or even if you are just fascinated by animal psychology, this deep dive will fundamentally change how you view animal behavior. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
We have this high-stakes emotional moment. I find my destroyed shoe, I see a dog that looks incredibly guilty, and I project remorse onto them. Why is that such a fundamental misreading of the situation?
It really comes down to a trap we fall into out of love, honestly. It's anthropomorphism. We view our dogs as family members.
Right, of course.
Which naturally leads us to project our own complex human emotions onto them. Human evolution has wired us to seek out narrative and intent. So we assume that because we would feel moral shame for destroying someone's property, our dogs must possess that same internal compass.
We're essentially setting up a little human courtroom drama in our living rooms. We look at them and think, they know the difference between right and wrong. They deliberately chose wrong, and now they regret it.
Exactly. But the biological reality is that dogs do not process the world in terms of abstract concepts like right and wrong.
I don't.
No, not at all. Their cognitive landscape is entirely governed by what is safe and what is unsafe. There is no morality in their decision-making process. There are only outcomes.
Okay, so they aren't weighing the ethics of shoe destruction.
Right. They don't look at a shoe and think, oh, this is expensive, I shouldn't chew it. They look at a shoe and think, this smells interesting, and chewing it feels good.
Okay, I can accept that they don't have a human moral compass, but let me push back on that a bit. If they aren't sitting there feeling moral guilt, how do you explain the timing? Because it's impeccable. The second I step through the door, before I've even fully processed the shredded shoe, they already have that cowering look.
Yeah, they're already reacting.
Exactly. If it's not guilt, how do they know I'm upset before I've even said a single word?
To understand that instant reaction, you have to realize they are reading you on a physiological level long before you ever consciously react. This is where we have to look past the visual and dive into the biological.
This reminds me of those sensory reading concepts. I remember reading about the feline studies on cats.
Oh yeah, the feline sensory research.
Right, where felines can essentially feel the micro-vibrations of an incoming storm or even hear the subtle changes in a human's heartbeat from across the room. Is it a similar mechanism for dogs?
The feline studies are a perfect bridge to this, actually. Feline sensory networks are tuned to pick up on environmental shifts that are just entirely invisible to us.
Like barometric pressure and stuff?
Exactly. They have specialized nerve endings in their paws and whiskers. Now, dogs operate on a similar level of invisible sensory overload, but their primary superpower is olfactory.
Their sense of smell.
Right, they don't just smell the world, they essentially read the chemical makeup of the air.
So when I walk into the room and see the chewed shoe, what exactly is the dog smelling? I mean, I'm just standing there looking at the mess.
Well, the second your eyes register that destroyed shoe, an involuntary biological cascade happens inside your body.
Even if I don't say anything?
Even if you are totally silent.
Yeah.
Your amygdala, which is the fear and threat center of your brain, fires. Your heart rate spikes. Your breathing pattern instantly changes, becoming shallower and faster. And crucially, your body releases a massive sudden spike of cortisol, the primary stress hormone.
So instead of me just being like annoyed, I'm actually pumping out stress chemicals.
Yeah.
And the dog's nose is picking that up.
Much faster than we can even comprehend. I mean, a dog's olfactory system has roughly 300 million scent receptors.
300 million. Compared to ours, which is what?
About 6 million for humans.
That's insane.
It is. And the part of their brain dedicated to analyzing smells is proportionally 40 times larger than ours. So when you spike cortisol, it literally changes the chemical composition of your sweat and your breath in milliseconds.
So they can actually smell the stress.
To a dog, cortisol has a distinct sharp odor. You haven't yelled, you haven't pointed at the shoe, but biologically you are practically screaming hostility into the room.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Are our dogs essentially just walking, furry polygraph machines constantly detecting our stress hormones?
What's fascinating here is that, yes, that is a great way to visualize it, but it's not just a detached observation for them. It fundamentally alters their reality.
Oh, so?
Well, in the psychological framework of attachment theory, you are supposed to be your dog's secure base.
Like a parent to a toddler. Like the reliable anchor that makes the unpredictable outside world feel safe.
Precisely. The secure base is the foundation of their entire existence. But in a fraction of a second, because of your internal reaction to a chewed shoe, that anchor just vanishes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Their secure base has suddenly transformed into a highly unpredictable, biologically dangerous threat that's just radiating stress hormones.
That completely flips the script. I'm standing there thinking my dog is confessing to a crime, but my dog is actually just reacting to me turning into a monster.
And that brings us to the physical look they give us, the tucked tail, the lowered head, avoiding eye contact. Biologically speaking, it is known as an appeasement gesture.
An appeasement gesture.
Right. When any animal is confronted with a sudden threat, their nervous system gives them a few options: fight, flee, or de-escalate.
Well, they rely on us entirely for survival. They can't fight us, and they can't exactly pack their bags and run away.
Exactly, so they have to choose de-escalation.
So what does this all mean? It's less like a criminal confessing on the witness stand and much more like, I don't know, a hostage negotiator trying to talk a highly volatile captor off a ledge.
That is the exact dynamic. These appeasement gestures, lowering the posture to appear smaller, pinning the ears back, showing the whites of the eyes, which, by the way, is often called whale eye. These are ancient, hardwired rituals.
Where do they come from?
They're passed down from their wolf ancestors.
How does that play out in a wolf pack, though?
Well, in a pack hierarchy, physical conflict is incredibly dangerous and costly. If a lower-ranking wolf accidentally angers a higher-ranking member or finds themselves in a tense situation, they use these exact same physical signals to short-circuit aggression.
To just shut it down before it starts.
Exactly. Averting the gaze signals that they are not challenging the leader. Lowering the head protects the vulnerable neck while showing submission. It is a universal canine language designed to say, I am smaller than you. I am not a threat. Please do not hurt me. Let's restore the calm.
So when my dog makes that face, they aren't saying, I'm so sorry I ate your shoe. They are saying, I can smell that you are incredibly angry. I have no idea why, and I am terrified. Please go back to being my safe place.
It is a profound act of vulnerability. They are dropping all their defenses and offering you submission in hopes that you will regulate your emotions and spare them.
Okay, I can see the evolutionary logic there. But for the skeptics listening, how do scientists actually prove this? Because it's one thing to say they're reacting to our cortisol, but how do we know for sure they don't also feel a little bit of guilt about the destroyed item itself?
That's a great question. Researchers actually set up a brilliant piece of canine cognition testing to separate the dog's action from the owner's reaction.
Oh, interesting. How did they do that?
They created a scenario with a forbidden treat. They had some dogs genuinely misbehave and eat the treat when the owner left the room, while other dogs did absolutely nothing wrong.
Let me guess. They manipulated what the owners thought had happened.
They controlled the flow of information entirely. They would pull an owner aside and tell them that their dog ate the forbidden treat, even when the dog was completely innocent.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. The owner would then go back into the room and speak to the dog in a stern, disappointed voice.
Wait, really? So if this is purely reactionary, does that mean I could walk up to a totally innocent dog who has done absolutely nothing wrong, scold them, and get the exact same guilty face?
That is exactly what happened in the study. The classic guilty look appeared every single time the owner acted upset, completely regardless of whether the dog had actually committed an offense.
That is mind-blowing.
It really is.
Yeah.
The look was triggered entirely by the owner's behavior in the immediate moment. It had absolutely zero connection to the past action.
It's just unsettling to realize how much we project our own psychology onto them, completely missing what's actually happening in their heads. It totally severs that human link between the crime and the confession.